everybody. We've been waiting for you. We're so happy you're coming in. We are here together at the Center for Spiritual Living Bellingham on a typical January Pacific Northwest morning. And wherever you are, I hope it's just as beautiful as it is here. This is Kathy Angel. She joins us from time to time with Eric and Robin and Kathy, and they're going to lead us in some music today. Take it away, you guys.
All right, you're going to want to stand up on this one. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. I am opening. Last time, I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. I am opening up in sweet surrender to the luminous love light of the One. All right, take a moment to greet someone you don't know.
He can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm ready. My bass has been going out of tune.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome welcome here. My soul is 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 welcome
So, children in the audience, we would like to invite you to come up with your teachers right now. And I suspect you have a song that you will sing for them. Come on up. It's Lily today. And if you don't want to come up, but you'd like to join the kids, feel free to join them as they exit toward their outdoor classroom. So what have we got?
Hooray for the world.
Hooray for the world. They know it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We've got Mother Nature and the human race. The world's got trees and bumblebees, rivers and valleys and open seas, mountains and valleys and the animals too, and the sun that shines for me and you. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, I'm glad to be on it. Hooray for the world, it's a special place. We've got Mother Nature and the human race. We got Mother Nature and the human race.
Usually play it as they're going out, but that's okay.
Good morning. So, Mother Nature and the human race and all of us. So, I will just remind you, if you haven't, turn down and turn off your cell phone. That'll be nice. We won't have any interruptions. But I'm so glad to see each and every one of you here this morning, and we're so happy to have you joining us in the live streaming audience as well. I'll just tell you what inspired me to want to say a little prayer this morning, and that was seeing some beautiful photos this morning of the thousands of snow geese down south from here. And I know that how they move and assist each other with all the love and support that they have. For anybody who's leading the pack and then gets tired, there's someone else that steps up. And that's exactly what I thought this was here for us. Our community. We've each one of us willing to step up for anyone who is falling behind. And I know that we're all here in joy and love and peace and beauty. And I am so glad that this is our community of love, of joy, of peace and power and beauty beyond imagination, and definitely a feeling of being one and the wholeness that we truly are. Grateful for this truth, I release these words, knowing that they are so for any and all who wish to claim them as their own when I say, and so it is. Thank you.
Pour yourself in me, pour yourself into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour your joy in me, pour your joy into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, pour your love in me, pour your love into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, shine your light in me. Shine your light into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, sing your song with me. Sing your song into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit, dance and smile in me. Dance and smile into my heart. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Whoa, wonderful Spirit. Beautiful. I wish for you love, I wish you success, and knowing you are worthy of having it all. You've answered the call to serve your highest good. You have a power within, and now you'll begin to share your heart's desire. I wish for you joy, I wish for you peace, but most of all, I wish you love.
I wish you love, I wish you love.
I wish you love.
I wish you love, I wish you love.
You have all that you need, all the support to reach the highest mountain. But if you're afraid or feel insecure, your angels are watching over you. Open your heart, trust in your path. Faith will always guide you. I wish for you joy, I wish for you peace, but most of all, I wish you love.
I wish you love, I wish you love.
I wish you love.
I wish you love, I wish you love.
You've got everything inside of you. Nothing's gonna stop you now. There's nothing you can do. So just state your intentions on a laser beam of light and go out and shine. You shine, you shine. I wish for you love, I wish you success, and knowing you are worthy of having it all. You've answered the call to serve your highest good. Open your heart, trust in your path. Faith will always guide you. I wish for you joy, I wish for you peace, but most of all, I wish you love.
I wish you love, I wish you love.
I wish you love.
I wish you love, I wish you love.
I wish you love.
Thank you. Can I tell a story about Lucy Violet? So they recently got a cat, well, 2 cats, but Lucy Violet's the most recent addition. And when Kathy is practicing singing, Lucy Violet goes right up to her and looks in her mouth like, what is happening here? All good stuff is what's happening here. Thank you for being here. I love that story. Welcome to you all. We're in the middle of speaking about charting your course in the larger theme for the year of your soul's journey. And so, of course, charting is one of the first things that any ancient mariner would do. They would drag out the log books from all the pilots and the ships and look at all the things that had been written to make sure that they knew where the obstacles were and they knew what kind of currents and tides they were going to be anticipating and what to look out for. And so charting's important. And today I wanted to speak about the 4 aspects of spiritual charting because, you know, that's what we're doing here. And so the 4 aspects. Oh, did I go away? Hang on.
Might be batteries. Go ahead and use your.
Oh, it is low battery. Hang on. I would love to talk to you. Really, I came here to do that, so we'll patiently await. You tell a joke? I know. Stories are more my line. This is a perfection-free zone. All right. Yay! By the way, if you want to be a hero like Philip, he's looking for volunteers for the sound team because these things happen. All right, so the 4 aspects of charting your spiritual course have to do with dreaming, acting, believing, and planning. And I really wanted to talk about each of these, so bear with me. Anatole France said that to accomplish great things, we must not only act, but dream, not only plan, but believe. And he got that right. Unfortunately, for most people in the world, including me and maybe you, I forget the dreaming part and I forget the believing part and I just go straight to acting. Anybody? Yeah. And I'm real good at acting, and that's why that's sort of a default position for me. And yet I'm long enough on the spiritual path to know that if something's really important to me, I need to spend time doing something other than just pushing my way into making it happen. So let's talk about the importance of sequencing. So you probably are very, very aware, as I am, of all of the top athletes like Tiger Woods and all the ones I can't name because I'm kind of sports illiterate. But what I know about them from my years in psychotherapy world as a therapist is many of the top athletes that we watch in the Olympics, in the NFL, in all the different areas spend a great deal of time really thinking about how their game is going to go. They're really in the dream stage where they're seeing themselves, they're seeing how they want it to go, they're seeing how they want their performance to unfold, and they're rerunning that kind of success dream tape in their minds on a daily basis, particularly before a big game or a big happening. And what we know from psychological studies is that that kind of time spent in dreaming, seeing, visioning how you want it to be translates into how things actually unfold. Not perfectly, you know, not every time. You got other people dreaming too. And so on the field of play, sometimes the dreams kind of go like that. But really the peak performers in every area, not just sports, know this secret, that dreaming is critical before we act, to really spend time in that space of seeing it in our mind, seeing ourselves unfolding through whatever it is that we want. And so the same applies in any area that you're interested in up-leveling in 2023. It can be your spiritual path, you want to deepen that. It can be your career. It can be your parenting. It can be your love life. It can be anything. I'm focused on health right now, but any place can be up-leveled, and the place to start is to dream. So let me tell you a dream that my students in our practitioner class have been reading about. It's a dream of Mildred. I'm sure that's not her real name. But this is a story that it actually is true. Because of my eye surgery, I need these right now. So Edwin Gaines is very famous for her work with helping people achieve their goals and their dreams. And so she wanted to go to see a comet. And the only place you could really see it clearly was out in the middle of the ocean by Tahiti. So she organized a seminar at sea and was selling spaces for $3,000 a piece. So that's where this story, I know. Believe me, that was years ago. It's not like that now. So the total cost was going to be $3,000, and if a person wanted to come along, I needed a deposit of $1,000 to hold a space. She says, one day I was giving a workshop at a little bitty church in the Midwest. After I'd talked about the trip, a little white-haired woman named Mildred came up to me, handed me a folded check, and said, I'm going to go on that cruise with you. Here's my deposit. Wonderful, I said. We're going to have a great time. I set the check aside. Later that day, I looked at it to make sure she'd included a phone number so I could contact her. But when I looked at the check, I saw that it wasn't made out for $1,000. It was made out for $10. Maybe I wasn't clear, I thought. I went and found Mildred. Please forgive me, I told her. I don't think I communicated very clearly. In order to hold your space, I need a deposit of $1,000. Oh, I heard you, honey, Mildred said. I don't have $1,000 right now, but I'm going on that cruise. You hold on to my check. Well, I didn't want to rain on her parade, so I let it drop. And over the next few weeks, small checks from Mildred started to drift in. One came for $3.95. 2 or 3 days later, I got one for $4.50. And then I got one for $7.95. And then I got a really big one for $12.50. And so on. By the deadline, when I had my 18 people total enrolled, Mildred had given me a total of $97. I really prayed about calling her. I wanted to break it to her very gently that she wouldn't be coming on this cruise. I wanted to make sure she was empowered and not diminished by the experience. So I called her and I said, Mildred, my trip is now full, so I'm going to return your $97. And I just know the next time we have an opportunity to have an adventure together that it's going to work out perfectly. And we'll have a great time. Oh, no, you don't, said Mildred. You keep my deposit. I'm going on that cruise. Well, at this point, I began to wonder what I was dealing with. I started thinking that Mildred might be a few sandwiches short of a full picnic. I've never heard that expression. Edwin Gaines is from the South. I love it. So I began to speak very slowly and clearly. I don't want to be rude, but I don't think you understand exactly what I'm saying. I told her, I want to be real clear that you understand me. The cost of the cruise is $3,000. What I need from you is complete payment of $3,000, but at this point, even that would be no good because the trip is full. I wouldn't have room for you anyway, so I'm going to return your $97, and I'm real sorry. She said, Dearie Pie, I understand you perfectly. The problem we're having here is not that I'm not understanding you, it's you are not understanding me. I am going on that cruise. Well, I didn't know what to do, so I took the coward's way out. Instead of arguing with her anymore, I just said, okay, well, we'll pray about it. Packing and getting ready for my seminar at sea was a lot of work, and I kind of forgot about Mildred. Then 2 days before we were scheduled to depart, I got a call from a very wealthy woman in Birmingham, Alabama, who was one of the first people enrolled to go on the cruise. Edwene, honey, I'm in a real pickle, she said. We have a family court case that's come up, and I simply have to be there. I've tried everything I can do to get the judge to postpone for a week so I can go on that trip, but he won't do it. Now, I've gone on enough cruises in my life to know that it's much too late for me to get a refund. Do you know anyone who would like to take my place? I could not believe what I was hearing. I could hardly wait to call Mildred and give her the news. I got her on the phone and I said, "You're simply not going to believe what I'm about to tell you." "Oh, there's no need to tell me, honey," she said. "My bags are already packed and by the door." So Mildred had a dream. And what stops us from dreaming sometimes is that we have issues of worth. Honestly, we have issues of value. Mildred apparently did not. But sometimes we get in our own way when we're dreaming, and we say things to ourselves that minimize the dream or even negate it. And so I'm going to tell you a challenge for each of these things and just ask you to think, when I'm dreaming, do I put the brakes on myself? Do I just not let the dream be big enough? Because a lot of times that's what happens. So the next part is acting. And acting is incredibly important, and it's a place we get stuck sometimes. And so, what I brought for you is a man that I never knew. And he was a compadre of Hillary, who was the first white man to climb Everest to the top, right? And W.H. Murray was someone that was a mountaineer for years and years and wanted to go with Hillary. Hillary wanted him to go, but Murray could never come up with the money. And so Hillary would get a hold of him and say, "Hey, I'm going, and really want you to come." And Murray would say, "I really want to come. Don't have enough money for the steerage to get myself there, much less all the things you have to do to prepare." Well, finally, they weren't getting any younger. And Murray knew that the next time Hillary called, it was now or never for him. And so Hillary called. And Murray said, without any hope of having more money, he said, "I'm going," just like Mildred. And he went down. At that time, you had to take a ship to go around the Horn and get to India, where then So he went down and he put the last of his money on a steerage. I often wonder what his wife felt. But he did this, just, saying, "I'm going." And of course, just like Mildred, things began to happen. So out of that, he wrote a piece. And actually, he manifested that kind of action in a lot of ways. I'd love to tell you lots of stories about him. Look him up, W.H. Murray. There's a story about World War II in him that's really quite remarkable. But this is what he wrote after going, because he did go. It's often attributed to Goethe, but Goethe actually was so inspired by this writing that he wrote a poem, which I'll also read you. It's called "Until One is Committed." Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elemental truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man or woman could have dreamed would have come their way. And this is what Goethe wrote from being so inspired by that writing. "Whatever you can do and dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it." I'm sure you've heard that one. So, yes, one of the things that on the spiritual path we know so well is that when we commit to our dream and we take a first step, the next right step, as my friend Denise over there likes to say, when we do that, things began to happen that we could never have predicted. Often, have any of you had that experience? Raise your hand. Yeah? I have too, a lot. So it's not random, for me anyway. And so action is incredibly, critically important when you have a dream. You can't just leave it floating. You know, Thoreau used to say, dreams are wonderful. They're castles in the air. Now build a foundation for them. And the foundation is action. And so what stops us from acting? For me, what stops me from acting is, first of all, I don't wait for the dream to crystallize. And I can remember Stephen Covey, remember him, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the things he said in that book, that the story has, you know, I'm a storyteller, so the story stuck. He was telling a story about this group of people with a leader, and they had machetes, and they were hacking their way through the jungle, hacking away all day long, hacking, and they were exhausted when they finally stopped, and the leader asked for someone to get the ladder that someone was carrying, and he climbed up the ladder to see, you know, their progress and how they were doing. And he looked around, and he looked down, and he went, "Sorry, guys, wrong jungle." It's a management story, actually. But it's a management story, actually, because what I notice is that if I'm not allowing a dream to happen in things that are really important to me, sometimes when I act, I'm acting from old habits. I'm reactive sometimes, or I'm thinking I know what's going on in someone's head, always a mistake, and so I'll act from a place like that, and so it's important to understand that one of the challenges we have in acting is that we often are reactive rather than proactive in getting ourselves lined up. What happens when we line up with the dream, with the idea, with the thing that we're seeking to manifest, is providence moves in. Just like he said, our word for providence, spirit. Same thing. It's the idea that when we clearly are connecting with our truth, things move to support us spiritually. So there's laws of cause and effect that coincide with that dream of ours. And it's almost like I don't have an anthropomorphic God. Maybe you don't either. But I do have a buddy of spirit, you know? And so while I don't think of God in those terms, I do think of spirit as my buddy. And so I'll often go, hey, spirit, this is what I'm wanting to do. So, y'all on board? Which, of course, spirit is. Providence moves. And so it's just kind of like that little bit of this is what I'm aiming for, and opening the door to be supported in that. And that's the other challenge with acting, is that if any of us, naming no names, think that we have to do it ourselves, there's no room for spirit in that. And I can guarantee you that when I let spirit move with my idea, it always ends up better. Sometimes different, but much better. So I've learned to move my own little ego self out of the way a bit. Not a lot, but a little bit, so that spirit can come in and go, oh, that's what you want. Okay. Then people, circumstances, phone calls, it's amazing what happens. We don't want to be in the wrong jungle in our life. And I work with a lot of people that feel like that's where they are. They've chosen a career path that they find out doesn't really make their heart sing. They're in a relationship that they don't know how to mend and lift. They're having health challenges that they don't quite know how to act because the dream that they had about themselves now requires some adjusting. So The next one is believe. And belief is a tricky word, isn't it? But in our tradition, this is what we say about believing. We believe that there is a spiritual law operating, and it has two facets. The first is unconditional love in the most profound way, so love. And the second is law, the law of cause and effect. And we believe that the whole world is wired with both, so that love is always seeking to be expressed, as Kathy's song so beautifully stated. I wish you love. Love is what's the underlying impetus for creation, is what we think. And there's laws that support love in coming into being. So there's an old expression, love points the way and law makes the way possible. So belief for us in the science mind tradition has to do with reminding ourselves that we don't need to worry about how, because the law will figure that part out. The law of cause and effect will take our idea and knows how to do that very, very well. What we need to do is keep our hearts open, our minds open, and move with belief. What I've noticed about this particular area of belief is the challenge is with attachment. And let me tell you what I mean by that. If I have an idea, let's say, that I want to have a loving partner, and which I already have, but for example, and my idea is, all these things that I would really like this partner to embody, and I make a list, and at the bottom, because I'm wise, I say this or something better. So I'm believing and open, right? Open heart, open heart. Well, the problem is that if I get attached too much to a particular part of that list, I might miss the person of my dreams because they don't quite match my mental idea of what they actually look like. So this happened to a friend of mine who lives in Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz, as you know, is down the coast from San Francisco by, a significant amount of time, especially right now with the highway washed out. And he was wanting a loving partner after his wife died. So he was doing this believe part and keeping his heart open. And sure enough, he met this incredible person. And the only problem was she was in San Francisco and he was in Santa Cruz. So if they wanted to get together, they had to do an hour-and-a-half drive one way or the other. There's some people sitting in the front row here who did the very same thing. So, what he did is what a lot of us do. He kind of went, well, this must not be it. And so he started to walk away from that relationship. And as he was walking away, he could feel everything in him going, no, don't do that. And so what he said about it, he said an interesting thing that I thought was so cool. He's a professor at Stanford. He said, I needed to get unattached to my pristine dream and allow compromise to come in so that I could have the real dream of my life. And at that point, they recommitted. They're now in a beautiful relationship and have worked out all kinds of beautiful ways to have that kind of relationship while they're still in their working lives. So amazing. And I can't answer your question now, but you can come up in a minute. So the last one is plan. There's an old expression that goes like this: trust in Allah, but tie up your camel. And so that's really what planning is about, is we want to keep our heart open, like my friend in Santa Cruz. We want to open, and there's things we need to do that will assure that things continue to move along in the right direction for us. And so for me, the challenge in planning is that I need to incorporate in my plan flexibility. And I don't know if you've noticed, sacred humans aren't real good at that, unless you're a yoga instructor, and that's not the kind of flexibility I'm talking about. I'm talking about mental flexibility, the ability to hold lots of possible ways that the dream and the believing can unfold. And, this is often called life design, when we have the flexibility to imagine different outcomes that all would be great. They'd all be great. They're different, but they're great. And so, there's a whole program at Stanford, where my friend is, called Life Design. And it really teaches people the engineering principles of design, but applies it to planning how to have the life of your dream. So for me, this lack of flexibility and attachment to a particular outcome has gotten in my way more than once. Fortunately for me, because I live in spirit world a lot, often when I am being inflexible or attached, I get a message loud and clear: let go, honey. You're holding on too hard. Let go. I'm getting it to you. I am, but not the way you're thinking. And so I get messages sometimes, and sometimes there's slaps upside the head in the outer world. I can remember when I was in a different pulpit, and we were meeting in a hotel ballroom. And every once in a while, we'd get kicked out of the ballroom because they were having some big event that paid better. And there were a lot of disadvantages to having church in a ballroom. We had, we had to unpack the bookstore and then pack it back up. We had to, set ourselves up and then unset ourselves every Sunday. So we started looking for a place. And I thought I had found the perfect spot. It was beautiful. Wasn't very big, because my center's checkbook wasn't that big either. And so I for sure thought this was the place, and I was like, heart open, but this is definitely the place. And it definitely wasn't. And then that happened again. And then that happened again. And every time I would be like crushed for a while, and then I'd go, well, this or something better, remember? And finally what happened was we had a builder show up, and a realtor and the builder got together, and we bought land and built the dang thing. So, this or something better. But had I remained attached and inflexible in my opportunity to open to, well, okay, not this one. Thought it was, but it isn't. I might have really made a mistake and had a place that was too small. It seated 50. By the time I left that pulpit, we had 450. I couldn't do, that many services to get 50, 50, 50, 50, 50. So let me review. Dream. And to dream, we need to get out of our own way and train ourselves mentally. Act, believing that providence will move in all manner of unforeseen incidents, meetings, and opportunities will be ours. Believe, love points the way, law makes it possible. And trust in Allah, but tie up the camel. Do some planning around it. Make it real. Put it down on paper. Start to really make some action steps, and maybe 3 different possible action steps that could take you in different directions. So if anyone is here listening in our live stream audience, I'd like to offer a prayer to end this beautiful time together. And so join me, especially if you're in a place of wanting to dream a little bit differently for your life. There is within all of us and within all reality an unshaken, unstoppable, abundant love that is constantly creating out of itself all that is. This love, moving in you and moving in me, is powerfully supported in manifesting everyone's idea, everyone's dream, everyone's right and perfect life by means of a law that is also operating 24/7 all the time, the law of cause and effect. And so as I remember that love and law are my partners in the dream I am seeking to bring forward in my life, I accept for myself and for any of you ready to have a different experience, I accept that the dream that I am holding is big enough that I make it big enough so that this love has ample room to bring forward out of law an incredible life, a life that is full of joy, full of love, full of self-expression and health, and that these things are not ever impossible to the one that dwells within as love and law. So I open. I remain incredibly flexible but very specific in my dream. I allow myself to act in ways that I am drawn to act, taking the next right steps all the way along, and planning with diligence and clarity so that the dream has a foundation that allows it to manifest purely and beautifully. I'm grateful for my life and for this dream unfolding. And so it is. Thank you very much. All right, the ushers are preparing for the offertory, and they're going to come on up and start passing baskets. If you're new with us, there's no obligation to give at all. However, we are not supported by anyone other than the people who come here, so we appreciate any donation that you can give. And a lot of people not only give money, but they give time and volunteer for different things. So you'll hear some of that in a moment.
These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive all the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace? Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive love? Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Joy, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Peace, are you ready? Are you ready to receive? These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive all the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace? Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive compassion? Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Forgiveness, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Laughter, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready to receive? These are the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace. Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive all the gifts of the goddess, love, joy, and peace? Gifts of the goddess, are you ready to receive passion? Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Success, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Abundance, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready to receive? Are you ready to receive? Are you ready to receive?
These are not things I'm choosing to eat right now. However, they're here to remind me. Tomorrow, there are about 6 of us that are going to be here at 2:30 in the afternoon to make a meal for 50 unhoused people. And many of you have volunteered to bring ingredients. So if you did, I'm reminding you we need those by 2:30. And we'll be in the office from 10 if you want to just drop them by. And we do need a few other things. This is, I actually Googled hearty, high-fat meals because it's very cold out there. And we wanted to make sure that this was a rib-sticking meal. So one of the things we need is 3 bags of tater tots. But there's some other things too, and the cookies are here because I forgot to put cookies on the list to sign up. So it's on the list now. We need 3 dozen more than these 2. And if you would like to come and help, you can come cook even if you don't want to bring an ingredient. And we're going to be there from 2:30 till about 4. And then the goal with these meals that we're doing once a month is to get them to people not only who are unhoused but are not in camps. They're out away from everybody for various reasons. And so Bridges to Services, which is a nonprofit that seeks to reach these folks, knows the value of having someone sit down with a hot meal with someone. So our goal is to get these to the people while they're still hot. And we have a whole mechanism we do that. So any help that you can offer, we would love. There's Asebedo is in the back, and you can look and see. There's a couple other things we need, but mostly cookies. And they like these kind of cookies. All right, so the other thing that I wanted to make you aware of is next Sunday. I'm very excited because it's an idea of mine. We have a group here called the Earth Stewards, and our mission, our goal, is to manifest the center's core value of wise earth stewardship, not only of our finances, of our own land that we are inhabiting right now, but also to educate our community in ways that we can be stewards of the earth. So next Sunday after our 10:30 service, we're inviting anyone who would like to stay for the documentary to bring a bag lunch and eat while you're watching this lovely documentary. You may have seen it. I've seen it many times. It's called Kiss the Ground. Anybody see that? I know you two did. Yeah, and so it's very inspiring. I wouldn't bring anything other than that, but it's also extremely informative about what we can do. So we will not only watch the documentary, but we'll have an opportunity at the end to kind of ask some questions of each other. And Mark Fearer, who has the Million Trees Project here in town, will be here to give us some ideas for what we can do in the larger community. So that's next Sunday. And we have a pop-up, and it's a really cool pop-up, but we need to hear from people who would like to do this pop-up. What is a pop-up? Well, you know, it's like this sort of surprise event. And this one is Bunko, which I've never played, but I've heard people through my years go, oh my God, Bunko is so fun and so silly. So we're having a Bunko pop-up, and it is on Saturday, January 28th at 7 p.m. It's really, I asked Jean, who's at the Ask Me Desk, and you can ask her yourself because she's a Bunko player, and it's going to be at her house. I said, so what is Bunko? And she said, well, it's hilarious, and it's loud, and it's gambling, and there's prizes, and it's silly. Sounds like my kind of jam. So if you'd like to go, you need to sign up before the 26th, which is Thursday, and you can let Jean know right now if you want to come. There is a charge, and they're charging not because we're raising money for anything other than my sabbatical. So I'm going on sabbatical in December, and I'm going to Mexico, and it looks like Colombia. And so I'm paying for that, by the way, so that's not what this is about. But they need to cover while I'm gone. So if you would like to support Sabbatical Fund and have a great time, let Jean know. And on the website, you can also find this event and sign up for it through that. So that's that. And I think one of the things that we have once a month on Monday is a Zoom opportunity for Conversations in Consciousness. And that's happening tomorrow from 7 to 8 p.m. with our practitioner, Kalish Lavielle. And all you need to do is email Kalish, and she'll send you the link. My last announcement had to do with our wonderful teen group. It's small but mighty. They just got back from teen winter camp, and I'd like to invite our advisor, Kat Wingerter, and Jason, their wonderful sibling, and here's Faith.
Good morning. My name is Kat. My pronouns are they, them. And I am the Bellingham advisor for the teen program. These are our two teens, our wonderful introverted teens, so I'm so glad they came up on stage. But this last weekend we were at winter camp, which was amazingly awesome. Winter camp is regional, so it was all Northwest. So we had teens from Washington, Oregon, and Northern California, and Northern Nevada, and also the Discord. We had a great time. and it was a small but mighty camp. We had about 30 people there, and we had some wonderful workshops, did some great team building and relationship building. And would either of our teens like to share anything fun from camp? Okay.
One thing that we're able to do at camp is a game called A's and B's, which was a really emotional game for me, but it was also something I was really glad I got to participate in. And I can give a quick example of it. So Jason will be used as my example. So the example I would like to use is, let's say I partnered up with Jason and he was A's and I was B's. Jason would then go into the middle of the circle and he could keep his eyes open or closed, and if his arms were down, that means I could come over and I could hug him and pat his head and all sorts of things like that. Or if his arms are closed, then we would give our love in different ways and not touch, but still give love, which makes it a pretty emotional game, but it's also really nice because, especially if your eyes are closed, you don't know who's hugging you, and you could have the same person come and hug you like 15 different times, but it would feel like it's a bunch of different people because they would hug you in different ways. Or if your eyes are open, you could see all the different people that are coming and hugging you and giving you love. And another thing that is a part of the game is if you are the one hugging, giving love, patting, whatever, you could also whisper to them and tell them motivational things. And there's a couple people who kind of like whispered to me about how glad they were to be able to finally meet me because they were in the Discord, or like that they like it was people. There's some people who like whispered to me like, "Hey, I see you from across the room and you look super cool, and I wish we could be friends." And that definitely made me cry that day because I don't see myself as cool. I've always been bullied growing up, so it made me really happy whenever that happened.
Thank you, Faith. Okay. So as you can see, teen camp is very important to our teens, and to be able to be in a space where they can feel and give and receive love in a safe and welcoming space. And so we would like to continue sending our teens to camp and welcoming new teens in our center to camp. So we have winter camp in January, which we just came from, and summer camp is coming up in July. And so we are going to be fundraising to send our teens to summer camp. And we'd like to also welcome any new teens. Teens are 13 to 19. So if you have a teen, if you know a teen, or if you know someone who has a teen, please welcome them to come and join us. And we will be having an info meeting in the classroom at 11:45 because we do have youth group at 12. So it will be a brief meeting to give you any info on the camp, on the teen group, and how to join the Discord for our teens. Thank you.
That was great. Good job. Very intimidating to be up here, and so very, very proud of our teens and our advisor. We are looking for an additional advisor to assist with our group, which right at the moment is meeting virtually. That's what Discord is. It's a virtual platform where our teen group meets with other teen groups and gets to know each other. So if you have questions, please see Kat after the service, and the classroom is straight back past the bathrooms. They would love to give you more information. All right, I think that's enough. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and stand, and we'll sing our way into this beautiful day.
All right, this is a new one. Kathy Murray brought it to our group. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Step out and take a chance. Walk the talk, join the dance. Relax, enjoy the ride. Let kindness be your guide. You gotta go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. One voice, one hand, one heart. Wanna change, make a start. We're one big family. What's good for you is good for me. You gotta go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.